Good afternoon, all of you all. And we go ahead with some part that I wanted to complete in this week. फ्राइडे का अपना जो लेक्चर हुआ करता था, अब फ्राइडे का लेक्चर नहीं है. सो दैट्स व्हाई आई टोल्ड यू इन द लास्ट क्लास इटसेल्फ कि ये वीक में, सिर्फ ये वीक में अपने 3 लेक्चर्स होंगे. अदरवाइज नेक्स्ट वीक से जो अपना रेगुलर है वो 2 लेक्चर्स का जो है वैसे ही चलता रहेगा. ओके, सो आई जस्ट वांट टू कंप्लीट अ पार्ट विच अगर जल्दी हो जाता है तो जल्दी वाइंड अप हो जाएगा. ठीक है, सो लेट अस गो अहेड विद इट. आई विल शेयर द स्क्रीन विद ऑल ऑफ यू बेटा. लास्ट क्लास में हमने यहाँ तक किया था, बट इसको एक बार वापस मैं रिपीट कर रही हूँ. उस दिन थोड़ी सी जल्दबाजी में हमने ये कंप्लीट किया था. सो आई वांट टू make you all sure that you know this. Fine. So we had seen the 3 phases. The first phase was multiplication phase, second phase was a growth phase, and the third phase is maturation phase. So we are going to talk about the maturation phase, which is the last phase or the third phase as we call it. Fine. Let us see what is going to be there in this. So last class में मैंने आपको बताया था about this, that oogenesis takes place in the ovaries. Initial steps in egg production occur prior to birth. By the time the fetus is 25 weeks old, all the oogonia that she will ever produce are already formed by mitosis. So what do you mean by this? Ki before the birth of the female, itself, all the eggs that is going to be made in her body would be the full and final number. Birth के बाद कभी भी female fetus would not have the capacity to make new eggs. Fine. तो मैंने आपको बताया था around 4 lakh eggs बन जाते हैं, जो by the time of birth 2 lakhs हो जाते हैं, and by the time of puberty वो हो जाते हैं around 40,000. That is what we had seen, है ना? Hundreds of these diploid cells develop into the primary oocytes, begin the first step of the first meiotic division, proceeded up to the dikynesis, and then stop any further development. तो ये जो है ना बेटा, ये meiosis का part है. In meiosis, I'll be talking about this in detail. Okay, so meiosis is going to take place in the gonads, that is in the ovaries and testes. तो ये जो meiosis हो रहा है उसमें क्या हो रहा है, सब phases आते हैं बेटा. meiosis is practically divided into 2 sections, meiosis 1, meiosis 2. meiosis 1 में और steps है, prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1. prophase 1 में 5 parts है. डरना मत, मैं ये पूरा एक चैप्टर है बेटा, इसके ऊपर मैं आपको ये पूरा का पूरा डिटेल में पढ़ाऊंगी. ओके, डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट, ये पूरा डिटेलिंग हो जाएगा, है ना. बस अभी के लिए मैं आपको समझाने के लिए बोल रही हूँ. meiosis divided into 2 parts, meiosis 1, meiosis 2. meiosis 1 further divided into prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1. prophase 1 further divided into 5 steps: leptotene, zygote, पैचिटीन, डिप्लोटीन, डाइकाइनेसिस. तो ये जो होता है ना प्रोसेस ओवरी में फीटल कंडीशन में, ये कब तक हो जाता है, कहाँ तक हो जाता है, डिप्लोटीन तक हो जाता है. प्रोसीड्स इन द डाइकाइनेसिस लेटर ऑन. लेटर ऑन मतलब अब कब ये प्रोसीड करेगा, व्हेन विल इट अटेन द नेक्स्ट स्टेप? इट विल अटेन द नेक्स्ट स्टेप आफ्टर puberty. So at puberty, when the menstrual cycle will begin, from that time onwards, this particular meiosis 1 के prophase 1 के डिप्लोटीन में अटके पड़े एग का आगे का जर्नी स्टार्ट होगा बेटा. ठीक है, उसके बाद ही इसके आगे का जर्नी स्टार्ट होता है. कब? आफ्टर प्यूबर्टी. तो कहाँ तक अटका पड़ा है? इट्स arrested at diplotin. So from that particular time up to the puberty or the menarche, इतने साल तक every female अपने ओवरी में ये हाफ मेड हाफ मैच्योर्ड एग लेकर घूम रही है. समझ में आ गई बात? ओके. नाउ द oocyte grows much larger and completes meiosis 1 forming 2 cells. कब होगा ये कब होगा? एट प्यूबर्टी होगा. तो ये डिप्लोटीन से आगे जाएगा डाइकाइनेसिस, डाइकाइनेसिस से आगे जाएगा मेटाफेज 1, मेटाफेज 1 से आगे जाएगा एनाफेज 1, एनाफेज 1 से आगे जाएगा टीलोफेज 1, टीलोफेज 1 के बाद 2 सेल्स बनेंगे. ठीक है, समझा? अब ये जो 2 सेल्स बने हैं इसमें कैसे होता है बेटा, एक जो सेल है ना वो बड़ा बन जाता है, लार्ज, एंड अदर एक छोटू बन जाता है. ये क्यों डिफरेंस है? व्हाई इज देयर डिफरेंस बिटवीन द साइजेस ऑफ द टू? बिकॉज द लार्जर वन विल रिसीव मैक्सिमम साइटोप्लाज्म while the smaller one will receive little amount of cytoplasm या फिर negligible amount of cytoplasm. बट ये छोटू में भी और ये बड़े में भी नंबर ऑफ क्रोमोसोम सेम है. कितने हैं ह्यूमन बीइंग्स में? 23 and 23. So 46 got split into 23 chromosomes in this larger one and 23 chromosomes into this छोटू one. ठीक है ना बेटा? अब ये लार्ज वाला और ये छोटू वाला उसके नाम अभी अलग हो जाएंगे बिकॉज दे आर नॉट एग्जैक्टली द सेम ना, अलग अलग है ना दिखने में. तो ये जो लार्जर है ना बच्चा उसको हम कहते हैं सेकेंडरी oocyte और ये जो छोटू बना है उसको हम कहते हैं पोलार बॉडी. समझ में आ गया? व्हाट इज सेकेंडरी oocyte एंड व्हाट इज पोलार बॉडी? फाइन, ओके. Completes meiosis 1 forming a large secondary oocyte and a small polar body that receives very little amount of cytoplasm but one full set of chromosomes. One full set of chromosomes मतलब 23 chromosomes मिल जाएंगे, पूरा एक सेट आ जाएगा. उसमें कोई कंजूसी नहीं है. कंजूसी कहाँ है? साइटोप्लाज्म में कंजूसी है. In humans and in most of the vertebrates, the first polar body does not undergo meiosis 2. Generally does not undergo meiosis 2. Okay, whereas the secondary oocyte proceeds as far up to metaphase 2 and it gets arrested at metaphase 2 of meiosis 2. अब ये क्या होता है देखो, अब ये सेकेंडरी oocyte है, ये पोलार बॉडी है, ये दोनों जो है नेक्स्ट राउंड ऑफ डिवीजन जाना चाहिए, मियोसिस 2 में एंटर करना चाहिए. तो ये जो पोलार बॉडी है ना बेटा ये जनरली मियोसिस 2 नहीं करती है बिकॉज उसके पास साइटोप्लाज्म ही नहीं है. बराबर, जनरली ओके. लेकिन ये जो बड़ी वाली है ये तो आगे जाएगी, मतलब ये क्या करेगी, प्रोफेज 2 में अटेंड करेगी. आफ्टर कंप्लीटिंग प्रोफेज 2 इट विल गो इनटू मेटाफेज 2. आफ्टर मेटाफेज 2 इट हैज टू अंडरगो एनाफेज 2, बट एनाफेज 2 में फिलहाल नहीं जाएगा, वापस उसको स्टैचू करके रख देंगे. फाइन. तो मैंने लास्ट क्लास में आपको बताया था 2 बार स्टैचू होता है. एक होता है इन द फीमेल फीटस इन डिप्लोटीन स्टेज स्टैचू. स्टैचू ओवर कब होता है? एट प्यूबर्टी. वापस ये जब सेकेंडरी oocyte डिवीजन में जा रहा है वापस मेटाफेज 2 पे उसको स्टैचू. ठीक है, समझा? यस. So, however, it then stops advancing any further. It awaits the arrival of the spermatozoa for completion of the second meiotic division. मतलब अगर spermatozoa आया और इसके साथ merge किया, only then it will cross the next stage after metaphase 2. So when will it cross the metaphase 2? Only when the sperms comes in contact with the egg. तब तक ये आगे नहीं जाएगा. तो ये तो बहुत रेयर है. दिस इज अ वेरी रेयर इवेंट, राइट? सो एवरी मंथ मेंस्ट्रुअल साइकिल के टाइम पे ये मेटाफेज 2 पे अटके हुए एग जो है वो लिबरेट हो जाता है, वो डिस्कार्ड हो जाता है, वो बाहर निकल जाता है ह्यूमन बॉडी से, फीमेल बॉडी से. So this is a common question that they ask you in your exams, that the unfertilized egg, unfertilized मतलब sperm और egg का fertilization नहीं हुआ है, an unfertilized egg is discarded, which is arrested at which phase? Metaphase 2. उधर ऑप्शन में मेटाफेज 1 भी रहेगा, प्लीज कंफ्यूज ना होना. ये कौन सा स्टेज है बेटा? मेटाफेज 2 स्टेज है. ठीक है. Entry of the sperm restarts the cycle, that is it will then restart from metaphase 2, it will go to anaphase 2. Restarts the cycle, breaking down the metaphase promoting factor and turning on the anaphase promoting complex. तो मेटाफेज प्रोमोटिंग फैक्टर जो है वो ब्रेक डाउन हो जाएगा, तब एनाफेज प्रोमोटिंग कॉम्प्लेक्स बन जाएगा एंड द प्रोसेस विल गो फर्दर. ठीक है. Completion of meiosis to convert the secondary oocyte into a fertilized egg, or as we call it as a zygote. Along with this, one more polar body would be given out. ठीक है. तो इस तरीके से ये पूरा मैचुरेशन फेज हो रहा है. अब बोलने के लिए तो ये हो गया, हमने स्टडी कर लिया, बट एग्जैक्टली व्हाट आर द स्टेप्स दैट आर इन्वॉल्व. फीमेल में ये कौन से फॉर्म में रहते हैं, फीटस कंडीशन में हाउ डज इट लुक, व्हाट हैपेंस एट प्यूबर्टी, हाउ डज इट चेंज, व्हाट मेक्स इट टू बी अ सेकेंडरी oocyte, हाउ द पोलर बॉडी इज गोइंग टू बी मेड, ये सारे क्वेश्चन मार्क्स माइंड में आ जाते हैं ना बेटा. सो इसके सारे के आंसर आज मैं दूंगी. ठीक है. Will go into each and every step that is actually happening in every female. Every female में ये जो हो रहा है ना बेटा, जो चीजें हो रही है, ये सारी चीजें right from the female fetus up to her to become a mother, वो पूरी कहानी मैं आज आपको बताऊंगी. Okay, so you got it. Why? I mean, what are we going to talk about today? ये last class में ये थोड़ा सा fast mode पे हमने किया था, इसलिए मैंने recap ले लिया ये slide का. And now we go on to the actual new slide for today. See over here. This is going to be the primordial cell. What is this? This is the primordial cell. You know what is primordial cell, है ना बेटा? Germinal epithelium का जो cell है, that was primordial cell. So this is the primordial cell. It undergoes mitosis. After mitosis, we call it as oogonia. By 25th week of IUL, IUL is intrauterine life. मम्मी के यूट्रस में जो चीजें हो रही है वो, okay? Intrauterine life. Primary oocytes would be made. मतलब growth phase start हो गया अभी, है ना? Growth phase हो गया. That is 46 chromosomes which will be having X and X. Females है तो will be having X and X. Arrested first meiotic division in prophase stage at birth up to puberty. यही stage में अटका रहेगा. Statue condition. Statue at diplotin stage. ठीक है. Later on, maturation of the Graafian follicle after puberty. What is this Graafian follicle? Graafian follicle is a matured प्राइमरी oocyte. ठीक है. वो कैसे होता है वो स्टेप्स देखेंगे. कंप्लीशन ऑफ मियोटिक 1 डिवीजन. मियोसिस 1 हो गया, मतलब सेकेंडरी oocyte बनी और पोलर बॉडी बनी. देखिए, सेकेंडरी oocyte एंड पोलर बॉडी. जनरली पोलर बॉडी के नीचे हम कुछ नहीं लिख रहे हैं, बिकॉज जनरली इन मैमल्स and in humans also, this polar body will not undergo second round of meiosis. जनरली नहीं जाती है सेकेंड राउंड ऑफ मियोसिस. क्यों नहीं जाती है बेटा? बिकॉज उसके पास साइटोप्लाज्म ही नहीं है सेकेंड मियोसिस कराने के लिए. ठीक है. इसलिए इसके नीचे कुछ नहीं हमने डाला है. सेकेंडरी oocyte क्या हो गया? देखो, प्राइमरी oocyte में 46 क्रोमोसोम्स थे और 2 एक्सेस इसमें है, इसलिए 46 है. अब सेकेंडरी oocyte में क्या हो गया बेटा? 23 क्रोमोसोम्स आ गए, हाफ द नंबर हो गए. पोलर बॉडी में भी 23 है, हाँ, बट साइटोप्लाज्म कम है. And here what will happen? See, in secondary oocyte 23 chromosomes including 1 X. This is also 23 chromosomes including 1 X, right? Meiotic division arrested at metaphase 2. वापस स्टैचू हो गया. ओके. अब स्टैचू होने के बाद ओव्यूलेशन होता है. ओव्यूलेशन होता है मतलब क्या होता है बेटा? ये जो एग ओवरी में है, it will be liberated, it will be released into the fallopian tube. You remember the finger leg projections, fimbriae, infundibulum, ampulla, right? We had seen this now. So in this particular fallopian tube, now the egg or the ova is going to be released. So now this process of releasing the egg from the ovary into the fallopian tube, this process is called as ovulation. ठीक है? After ovulation, meiosis 2 stage में अटका पड़ा है, not fertilized, then it gets degenerated, it will be thrown out through the menstrual flow. Fertilized, अगर fertilization होता है तो क्या होगा? Completion of second meiotic division to form again one large ovum and a छोटू ovum जिसका नाम है polar body again. तो ये थी अपनी first polar body, ये है अपनी second polar body. ठीक है? Questions कैसे आते हैं? The first polar body is formed after. When? After completion of first meiotic division. The second polar body is formed after completion of second meiotic division. समझ में आ गई बात? ठीक है, तो ये जो है ये graphical representation के जैसा है, ये flow chart के जैसा है. Same thing that I have discussed. Any doubts, any confusion with the wordings, with the process? किसी को कोई difficulty है? Do you have any difficulty in understanding any point? No ना? Okay. अब थोड़ा और आगे बढ़ते हैं फिर, अगर नहीं है प्रॉब्लम तो, अगर है तो बिन झिझक पूछ लेना, no problem हाँ? Okay. Ova are derived from the oogonia present in the cortex of the ovary. We know, we had seen ovary has got cortical region and medullary region. वो cortex में क्या होते हैं बेटा? oogonia होते हैं. ये oogonia ही आगे जाके क्या बन जाते हैं? egg बनते हैं या ova बनते हैं, right? Some important differences between oogenesis and spermatogenesis are follows. What are the differences? Whereas one primary spermatocyte gives rise to 4 spermatozoa, one primary oocyte forms only one ovum. बराबर? Sperms जो थे वो एक म्योसाइट, एक मदर सेल जो थी उसने 4 स्पर्म्स बनाए थे, हमने देखा था. 4 haploids were being formed, 4 spermatids. Then by spermiogenesis the spermatids got converted into spermatozoa. हमने देखा था कि नहीं? तो 4 बन रहे थे. इधर क्या हुआ बेटा? एक ही ओवम बना है after meiosis 2. So this is the first difference. When the primary spermatocyte divides, its cytoplasm is equally distributed between the 2 secondary spermatocytes. But here, however, when the primary oocyte divides, almost all its cytoplasm goes only to one of the daughter cells which forms the secondary oocyte. So, उधर equal division of cytoplasm and equal division of chromosomes था. In females, it is equal division of chromosomes but unequal division of cytoplasm. That is the main difference. So these are the two differences. The other daughter cell, that is the first polar body, receives half the number of chromosomes of the primary oocyte but almost no cytoplasm. The first polar body therefore form is merely to get rid of the unwanted chromosomes. Unwanted chromosomes कौन से होते हैं पता है आपको? जो defective होते हैं, which are recessive chromosomes, which may cause some or the other problems. ऐसे जो chromosomes है ना उनको eliminate कराना है. So the body is making this polar body and eliminating the defective type of chromosomes in the organs. ठीक है? That is one reason that the polar body will get discarded, will get removed. Okay? So ये slide पे किसी को कोई doubt?
Teacher.
हाँ बोलो बेटा.
So in this oogenesis, the defective chromosomes are removed. So then why does it not take the same thing take place while formation of in the process of spermatogenesis?
Yeah, I'll tell you. See, actually very good question. This should have also been done. But what happens is, according, I'll be teaching you genetics also. So you might have heard about genetics, Mendel's laws करके कुछ आपने शायद school level पे पढ़े होंगे.
Yes.
But what happens in that ना, if there is one dominant gene And even if there is another which is a recessive gene, the recessive gene would not able to show its effect in the presence of the dominant one.
Yes.
Right. So now here what are we taking care of? We are taking care of the recessive genes from the mother to get eliminated. So by default in her egg, we are assuming that it would have only the dominant ones.
Yes.
So अगर एक जगह पर dominant है तो स्पर्मेटोजोआ से dominant आ जाए या recessive आ जाए, the mother's chromosomes are capable enough of taking care of the other. So the nature does not believe in eliminating that in the males. Ultimately, the entire care or mother is the one who is going to be completely involved in taking care of the baby till the birth. So it is the main onus, it is the main responsibility of the mother. So the nature always supports this particular condition in mothers. Okay, got it? Yeah, fine.
Teacher,
हाँ, बोलो.
but if in the fertilized egg, if two dominant genes, one from mother and one from father, are there, then which gene would show its characters in the offspring?
No, it would be both. It would be both. It would be a mixture of both. And how both? I'll show you in cell cycle wala chapter, which I'm going to start immediately.
Okay.
Okay, I'll show you that how it is going to be seen. Very good. If both are dominant, what would be the condition? Both would be the effects that would be seen. See, for example, I'll tell you. बिल्कुल simple वाला example बता रही हूँ, ठीक है? Dominant character in human beings for hair is curly hair. Majority of us have got straight hair, but curly hair is a dominant character. ठीक है? अब अगर मम्मी का भी dominant character बच्चे में आ जाता है और फादर का भी डोमिनेंट कैरेक्टर बच्चे में आ जाता है तो बाय डिफॉल्ट बच्चे में क्या होगा बेटा, कर्ली हेयर ही दिखाई देगा. Get me? Something like that way. So it is the effect of both the dominant genes which is going to be simultaneously seen.
Okay.
Fine. So in this way, we'll be talking about the genetics part also, and we'll be talking about the cell cycle also, in which it will be very, very clear furthermore. But you got the things resolved now, how the things are going to actually take place?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, beta. Okay, very good, very good. Anyone else who has got any confusions, any doubts, please ask. Come on.
What if both are recessive?
Yeah. Sonali, you want to say something?
Yeah. What if both of them are recessive?
Both of them are recessive, then the child will have straight hair. That is what is happening in us now. Majority of us are having straight hair. Right? Even in case of this also, you take eye color also, okay? Eye color also, it's something like that way. Shape of your nose, shape of your lips, color of your skin, color of your hair, the type of fingers we have got. If you see my palm, look at my palm. It's very large. बहुत बड़ा है ना? जनरली फीमेल्स का पाम इतना बड़ा नहीं होता है, मेरा बहुत बड़ा है. My mother or my father. So everything what we are is a resultant of our mother and father, basically. Fine. So अगर recessive दोनों है तो वो recessive character आ जाएगा हमारे में. Got me? So it depends कि कैसा combination है. अगर एक आ जाता है, दोनों डोमिनेंट है तो भी डोमिनेंट कैरेक्टर आ जाता है, और अगर दोनों रेसेसिव है तो रेसेसिव कैरेक्टर आ जाता है बेटा.
सेल साइकिल जेनेटिक्स जैसा चैप्टर है.
Yes, it is completely related with genetics and with reproduction.
Okay, miss.
Okay, purely. So that is what I'm going to discuss some things with you at the end of this lecture. I'll talk about that eventually.
तो ये चैप्टर के बाद वही है ना?
हाँ, ये चैप्टर के बाद मैं सेल साइकिल का चैप्टर ही स्टार्ट कर रही हूँ बेटा. ओके, तो वही मैं आपको मतलब थोड़ा सा आइडिया दे दूंगी एट द एंड ऑफ दिस सेशन ही मैं आपको कुछ रफ आइडिया दे दूंगी. आई टॉक अबाउट इट. ओके, फाइन. सो done with this slide. Shall we go to the next one? Yeah, tell me.
When are the polar bodies discarded from the body?
Yeah, if there is no fertilization taking place, If there is no fertilization taking place, even the polar bodies would be discarded through the menstrual flow. And if fertilization does take place, then the polar body will be thrown out at the time of delivery of the baby. After the delivery of the baby, whatever remnants are going to be there, जो कुछ बचा कुचा टिश्यू रहता है, umbilical cord का remnant होता है, fetus membranes होते हैं, ये सारे है ना निकल जाते हैं. They are going to be actually expelled out from the womb of the mother. During that time ये भी उसमें निकल जाता है. So it's not going to stay back. Unfertilized condition through the menstrual flow, fertilized condition after parturition, it's going to get removed from our body. It never stays back. Fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you want me to summarize the slide in short? Okay. I think did you join late or something like that way? Because recording is there. This is the third slide actually that I have talked about. So okay, beta, no problem. You will get the recording. I'll ensure that you get the recording. Okay, I myself, I'll ensure that you will get it. Don't worry. Otherwise, what will happen? The first 3 slides now, which I've already explained, it will be like, okay, yeah, fine. This is fine. I mean, this is not very complicated. The real thing is going to come now. Iske aage wala slide is the actual content. Let us see. Numerous oogonia are found in cortical region in intrauterine life. We have seen 4 lakhs. बताया मैंने आपको. In early stage of intrauterine life, they proliferate by mitosis. Proliferate is to grow. Okay. After which meiosis would be taking place in them, and they proceed up to the prophase stage of the primary oocyte. Statue हो जाते हैं. They halt and they resume the activity at puberty when the ovulation starts. Now the halted meiosis proceeds. It restarts at puberty, causing the primary oocyte to convert into a secondary oocyte just before ovulation. ये सारी चीजें अभी हमने ये देखी है, बस एक recap है ये. But the first meiotic division completes and first polar body is formed. The secondary oocyte immediately begins the second meiotic division. First polar body में cytoplasm बहुत कम होने के कारण it is not going to undergo the second round of cell division. But secondary oocyte does undergo the second round. But even this division is unequal. And even it is going to be stopped at metaphase stage. It proceeds only when a spermatozoa penetrates the oocyte. Same what we have seen, same thing again as a summarized form I have mentioned over here. ठीक है? अब जो कहानी है, अब की जो कहानी है बेटा, ये बहुत ही मस्त वाली कहानी है. इसको समझिएगा क्या क्या होता है, कैसे होता है, पूरा डिटेल में. फाइन, देखते हैं. चलो. Formation of the Graphan follicle. That is the matured primary oocyte कैसे बन रहा है या matured egg कैसे बनने वाला है, इसकी कहानी है ये. Formation of the ovarian follicle, all we call it as the Graphan follicle. First, ova develop from these oogonia which are present in the cortex of the ovary. We know this. Primordial follicle gets converted into oogonia. Oogonia get converted into ova. ये हमने अभी अभी देखा. Now, the oogonia are surrounded by other cells that form a stroma for them. The stromal cells form the ovarian or Graphan follicle that surrounds the ovum and protects it. अब इसको समझना बच्चा, इसको अच्छी तरह से समझना. What I'm trying to tell you. This is the oogonia, right? This oogonia will be surrounded by other cells. Which other cells? Other oogonia. तो 4 लाख oogonia थे, एक दूसरे के बाजू बाजू में ही है. अब क्या होता है, ये जो एक oogonia है जो पूरी तरह से सराउंड होता है दूसरे सेल्स से, अदर सेल्स से. ओके, दे एक्ट एज स्ट्रोमा. Stroma means, you know what is stroma? Have you heard about this word stroma? Photosynthesis chapter में सुना होगा grana and stroma. किसी को पता है what is stroma? No? Okay. Stroma is something that is surrounding area को हम कहते हैं stroma. तो ये है oogonia उसके सराउंडिंग में दूसरे ऊगोनिया है, बराबर, उसके सराउंडिंग में दूसरे ऊगोनिया है। अब बेटा ये जो बाकी के सराउंडिंग ऊगोनिया है ना, इनमें ग्रोथ फेज नहीं आता है, they don't undergo growth phase. Who will undergo growth phase? The one which is at the center will undergo growth phase. तो ये जो बाजू के ऊगोनिया है, उनका जो फेट है, उनका जो डेस्टिनी है, it is not to become ovum but to become stromal cells, but to become stromal cells, and these stromal cells will then become follicular cells, and these follicular cells will ultimately make up this Graafian follicle. अब इसको आपको बहुत अच्छी तरह से समझना है, what I'm trying to tell you. हाँ, नहीं समझता है तो पूछ लेना। देखिए जैसे कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं आपको बता रही हूँ कि एक बड़े वाले बर्तन में, एक बड़े वाले बर्तन में से 10 गुलाब जामुन है। अब ये 10 में से, ये मत कहना पूरे के पूरे 10 अपने पेट में जाएंगे। हाँ, ये 10 में से अगर 4 का डेस्टिनी है, 4 का फेट है क्या, टू एंटर इनटू योर बॉडी, बाकी के जो 6 है वो वैसे ही रह गए, समथिंग लाइक दैट वे। आउट ऑफ द 4 lakhs, out of the 4 lakhs ऊगोनिया, ओनली फ्यू हंड्रेड्स, आपको याद है पहले वाला स्लाइड देखा था आपने, few hundreds will get converted into primary oocytes, that is what we had talked about. So out of those 4 lakhs, only few of them, उनका destiny है क्या, to become primary oocytes. बाकी की जो जनता उधर बची कुची है, all of them will act as your stromal cells or they will be acting as your follicular cells. Did you get me? कोई कंफ्यूजन है यहाँ पर? स्ट्रोमा मीन्स जो बाजू में है उसको हम स्ट्रोमा कहते हैं। इवेंचुअली ये फॉलिकल डेवलपमेंट में हेल्प करेंगे, इसलिए विल बी देन कॉलिंग देम एज फॉलिकुलर सेल्स। फाइन, एनी कंफ्यूजन, एनी डाउट्स, कैन एनीवन आस्क मी? इफ बिल्कुल फ्रीली पूछ लेना कोई डाउट है तो।
Teacher,
हाँ,
can you please repeat this point of the oogonia becoming the stromal cell?
या आई थिंक समवन्स माइक इज ऑन, प्लीज चेक। एक डिस्टर्बेंस आ रहा है बच्चा। हाँ, ओके फाइन, या आई विल रिपीट, just see. This is, there were 4 lakh oogonia, right? Out of 4 lakh oogonia, only few of them would undergo growth. जो ग्रोथ अंडरगो कर रहा है वो प्राइमरी oocyte बनेगा, करेक्ट, बट जो ग्रोथ अंडरगो नहीं कर रहा है उस oogonia का क्या हो जाएगा? तो वो जो oogonia है which would not grow would then start surrounding the growing वाला oogonia. ठीक है, सो ये जो सराउंड करने वाला है ना बेटा, ये सारे सराउंडिंग सेल्स को हम क्या कहते हैं? स्ट्रोमल सेल्स. तो स्ट्रोमल सेल्स आर आल्सो oogonia only.
Stromal cells, what do they do?
हाँ, या व्हाट इज योर डाउट बेटा?
What is the actual function of the stromal cells?
स्ट्रोमल सेल्स, आई विल टेल यू, स्ट्रोमल सेल्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करने वाले हैं। पहले वो क्या है वो समझो। इन द कमिंग स्लाइड्स आई विल बी एक्सप्लेनिंग अबाउट द रोल ऑफ द स्ट्रोमल सेल्स एज वेल. ओके, राइट नाउ इट इज फॉर प्रोटेक्शन. As of now they are protecting, so they are for protection as of now. So this is the oogonia which is growing, right? Uske bazu mein there are other oogonia which are not undergoing growth, so they are just forming a cover, they are forming a sheath, they are forming a covering over this growing oogonia. Okay, and because it is growing oogonia we call it as what? Primary oocyte. And the other cells which are also oogonia but they are not growing are going to be called as stromal cells. Did you understand this?
Yes, miss.
Ha, anyone having any doubt, anyone having any confusion, bachas, please let me know.
Teacher,
Yes.
so but then why only like this specific oogonia would grow and those would not grow? Because every oogonia would be surrounded by other oogonias, right? Like what
Correct.
would prompt one specific oogonia to grow?
Yeah. See, what happens is, this is called as conservation, law of conservation of nature. If all of them would grow simultaneously, none of them would complete their life. So what happens is, the best of them, the best among them would be selected, that would be the ones who would actually end up being eggs. The others which are maybe, you know, like 0.1% lesser in quality, will be eliminated by not undergoing the growth phase. Now, who decides this? Who decides this? That who has to grow, who is not to grow? Someone has to decide this. So this is going to be decided by a set of hormones called as FSH, that is follicle stimulating hormone, which are under the control of GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormones, which is under the control of hypothalamus. So hypothalamus is going to secrete GnRH. GnRH would secrete FSH. FSH would be secreted from the pituitary gland, and only those cells which are capable of correctly taking up FSH efficient है, only those would start accumulating FSH, and that will decide them that they have to undergo growth. Fine. So it is completely a hormonal control that which particular oogonia is going to end up making an egg, and which oogonia is just going to act like your follicular cells. Get me? Samjha? Good. Any doubts? Any doubts still? Anyone having any doubts? Any difficulties? आगे जाओ. Okay, so you know what is stromal cells are now. You also know what are follicular cells. The stromal cells itself, see, so the primordial follicle will give rise to several oogonia. Out of those oogonia, few will become primary oocytes by growing. Others which are not growing will surround this growing follicles, this growing egg. And the surrounding ones would be initially called as stromal cells. After few, changes in that stromal cells, they will give rise to follicular cells. So follicular cells ही stromal cells है, stromal cells ही oogonia है, और oogonia ही primordial follicles का product है. ठीक है? Second point आपके screen पे. Fine. See, these stromal cells form the ovarian or Graafian follicle that surrounds the ovum and protects it. The stages of the formation of Graafian follicle are as follows. Firstly, some cells of the stroma become flattened and surround a primary oocyte. So these oogonal cells, which were like marbles, now they have become flat. They have become disc-shaped. And this disc-shaped oogonia will now form a covering. They'll surround the entire growing primary oocyte. Okay? Which develops, of course, from the oogonia. These flattened cells ultimately form the ovarian follicle and are therefore called as follicular cells. That is what I told you all just now. The stromal cells only would be called as follicular cells after certain changes. Okay, so what are the changes? See, ये marble के जैसे cells है, oogonia है ना? ये अभी flat हो जाते हैं. They become flat, compact, disc shape, and they surround a primary oocyte, growing oocyte. Okay, या primary oogonia जो grow हो रहा है उसको surround किया. Now these flattened cells only would become follicular cells. How? That we want to talk about. तो ये एक general diagram है बेटा. ये जो है देखिए size difference देखिएगा. ये जो है ये अपना oocyte है, ये पूरा का पूरा oocyte है, ये छोटा dot नहीं. This is the entire one, which is the oocyte. This is the nucleus. Look at this follicular cells now. They have become flat, small, and they all will start surrounding the, you can see this na, ye wala. They'll start surrounding the entire primary oocyte. This is going to be the stroma, that is rest all are surrounding this particular area. Okay, now see in the next thing what is going to happen. Next is very important. Okay, see, you can see the diagram very clearly now. The flattened follicular cells now become columnar. The flattened follicular cells now become columnar. Follicles up to this stage of the development are called as primordial follicles. तो अब ये जो डिस्क था ना बेटा यहाँ पर, वो डिस्क से क्या हो गया, अभी ये टॉल कॉलम्स के जैसे बड़े बड़े सेल्स दिखने लगे. And these cells are going to be called as now follicular cells, which become columnar. This is the basement membrane. Okay, now what is a basement membrane? Let me tell you. Have I told you? I don't remember. No, I don't think I have told you. What is a basement membrane? See, you know what is a duster? जो बोर्ड रब करने के लिए आप लाए होंगे कभी ना कभी टीचर के लिए. आपके टीचर ने कभी ना कभी तो बोला होगा, just go and get a duster for me. अब ये जो डस्टर होता है ना बेटा, आपके जमाने में प्लास्टिक का भी होता है, हमारे जमाने में वुडन का हुआ करता था. तो जो वुड है, वुड, उसके ऊपर स्पॉन्ज चिपकाया हुआ है. With what the sponge and the wood are held together, what makes them to stick together? It is the glue, फेविकॉल, glue, whatever it is. तो ये जो glue है ना बेटा, which is going to stick the two objects together, is going to be called as basement membrane. So here also the cells are going to have the basement membrane that will help the other cells to come and stick to it. ठीक है? So you understood what is a basement membrane? It is just like a glue, it's just like a Fevicol, which helps in adhering the other cells over it. Fine? चलिए, so ये आपको समझ में आ गया. अब देखिए, यही डायग्राम पे फोकस करना है बेटा. You have to focus on this diagram itself. What is that? A membrane called as zona pellucida now appears between the follicular cells and the oocytes. You can very well see this is the zona pellucida. Where is it? It is present in between the follicular cells from outside and oocyte from inside. इन दोनों के बीच में sandwiched layer बन गई है एक, और वो sandwich layer का नाम क्या है? Zona pellucida. You will have to remember this word zona pellucida. It is going to have a very good significance till implantation of the egg into the endometrium for development of the fetus. तब तक ये zona pellucida आपका पीछा नहीं छोड़ने वाला है. तो zona pellucida ये वर्ड आपको याद रखना ही पड़ेगा. कहाँ होता है बेटा zona pellucida? कहाँ फॉर्म होता है? Between the oocyte and the follicular cells. उनके बीच में ये एक थिक लेयर बन जाती है zona pellucida की. So look at the changes. हाँ, कैसे कैसे changes हो रहे हैं देखो. फाइन. तो यहाँ तक की जो कहानी है उसको हम कहते हैं प्राइमोर्डियल फॉलिकल. अब तक वी हैव नॉट सीन व्हाट इज ग्राफान फॉलिकल. ग्राफान फॉलिकल के स्टेप्स में ये आते हैं. सो फर्स्ट स्टेप वाज व्हाट वाज द फर्स्ट स्टेप? सराउंडिंग द प्राइमरी oocyte with disc-like stromal cells. That was the first step. What is the second step? The disc-like shape become columnar, right? Now called as follicular cells. What is the third step? Formation of a zona pellucida sandwich between the follicular cells and the primary oocyte. That is going to be called as the zona pellucida ka birth. And this entire follicle का मतलब समझते हो? Follicle का मतलब है एक वेसल के जैसा. तो ये अब जो ऐसा एक वेसल के जैसा बॉडी बना है ना बेटा, उसको अब हम कहेंगे प्राइमोर्डियल फॉलिकल. गॉट इट? अंडरस्टूड? अब ये जो डायग्राम है, नो जोनर, दिस रेडिएटा विल कम लेटर ऑन, अभी नहीं आएगा. ग्राफियन फॉलिकल जब मैं एंड बताऊंगी ना, दैट टाइम आई विल शो यू वेयर इज कोरोना रेडिएटा. आई विल शो यू दैट. फाइन. फिलहाल ये. नाउ लुक एट दिस डायग्राम, बट द डिस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ द सेकंड डायग्राम इज ऑन द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. So I'll come back to this particular diagram after the description. But यहाँ तक किसी को कोई doubt है? Till that line, a membrane called as zona pellucida now appears between the follicular cells and the oocyte. Anyone having any problem in this? Any difficulty? Any doubts till now? Events समझ में आ गए? Clear है तीनों events क्या क्या हुआ अब तक? Fine? चलो, good. Then the description of this diagram on your screen right now is on the next slide. See, after puberty मतलब ये जो zona pellucida आया है वो कब आया है? इंट्रायूटराइन लाइफ में आया है. The girl child is born with this type of structure in her ovary. Can you see this? This type of floral structure, ये flower के जैसा दिख रहा है ना? So a female child will be born with this particular type of structure in her ovary. So what will be present in her ovary? Primordial follicles would be present in her ovary at the time of birth up to the puberty. तो ये भी एक question famous है that the follicle which is present before the birth up to the puberty in the life of human female is primordial follicle. Okay, got it? Yeah. So now we go to that sentence actually. After puberty, the follicular cells proliferate, grow. Now to form several layers of cells to form the membrana granulosa. These cells are now called as granulosa cells. इसका मतलब ये है, अभी ये डायग्राम देखो बेटा, ये सिंगल लेयर थी ना, this was a single layer. This follicular cells was single layer. Now it has become what? Multi-layered. So this multi-layered growing वाला जो follicle है, उसको अब हम कहेंगे membrana granulosa. So it forms a membrane. एक कवरिंग के जैसा बन जाता है बिल्कुल पूरा. कब? After puberty. ठीक है? So you understood what is granulosa? See here, follicular cells from membrana granulosa. So these are the granulosa cells. Zona pellucida intact है, उसको कुछ नहीं हुआ है, और उसके सेंटर में क्या है बेटा? oocyte है अपना. ठीक है? So ये fourth step हो गई. कौन सी है fourth step? Proliferation of the follicular cells to form membrana granulosa. नाम चेंज हो रहे. Primordial follicle to oogonia. oogonia to प्राइमरी oocyte. प्राइमरी oocyte के डेवलपमेंट में प्राइमोर्डियल फॉलिकल, प्राइमोर्डियल फॉलिकल से मेम्ब्रेना ग्रैनुलोसा. ठीक है? ड्राइंग के लिए दीज डायग्राम्स, यस, ये डायग्राम्स ड्राइंग के लिए आते हैं, इसीलिए वो एक्चुअल ड्रॉ किए हुए ही डायग्राम्स डाले हुए हैं. फाइन, इजी है, डोंट वरी. मेम्ब्रेना ग्रैनुलोसा नहीं पूछेंगे, दे विल आस्क यू प्राइमोर्डियल फॉलिकल. जनरली सिंपल एक फ्लावर बनाना है, nothing else. Right? Yeah. So after puberty, the follicular cells proliferate now to form several layers of the cells to form the membrana granulosa. These cells are going to be called as granulosa cells. I hope you all have understood. A cavity appears within the membrana granulosa, which is going to be called as the antrum. अब देखिए, ये membrana granulosa था, अब बीच में से ही ये यहाँ पर एक cavity बन गई. यहाँ पर एक फट गया यहाँ का एरिया. ठीक है? अब ये कैविटी क्यों बनी बताया आपको बेटा? बिकॉज ये जो प्राइमोर्डियल फॉलिकल है ना, वो बढ़ रहा है. इट इज ऑल्सो इंक्रीजिंग इन साइज. सो व्हेन यू पुल एनीथिंग, कैविटी बढ़ जाएगी ना. इन द सेम वे, बिकॉज ऑफ द ग्रोथ ऑफ दिस oocyte, ओके, एंड दिस एंटायर फॉलिकुलर सेल्स, क्या हो गया? एक खींचा गया वो एक तरफ से, and it got torn from between. And this cavity is a very important cavity. This cavity is called as antrum. Okay? With the appearance of this cavity, the follicle now would be formed that will be looking like a small sac. देखिए, ये देखिए, ये एक sac के जैसा नहीं लग रहा है, एक bag के जैसे नहीं लग रहा है. So this is going to be called as the follicular cavity or antrum. Okay, any confusion till here? Each and every step is very important. Primordial follicle, oogonia. oogonia में से कुछ oogonia बड़े हो रहे हैं, बाकी के जो है they become disc shape, they surround the primary oocyte. Then they become columnar. Zona pellucida appears. Then after puberty, they proliferate to form membrana granulosa. आगे ये और बढ़ेगा, तो there would be a gap or a cavity that would be created, which is going to be called as the antrum. Any doubts, my dears? Any confusion till now? Can I go ahead? Okay. Now this antrum is going to be filled up with something. So see, now look at this, look at the cavity. Size देखिए, cavity की size देखिए कितनी बड़ी हो गई. Such a large cavity. पहले इतनी सी थी, अब ये कैविटी ने क्या किया ना, द कैविटी हैज पुश्ड ऑल द सेल्स टू द पेरिफेरी मेकिंग देम ऑलमोस्ट स्मॉल एंड ऑलमोस्ट इक्वल इन साइज. नाउ यू कैन सी दैट layer of cells which have gone to the periphery are almost equal in size and the cavity has enlarged. इतनी बड़ी cavity हो गई है. क्या जरूरत है इतनी बड़ी cavity की? What is the reason? There's a very important reason which we'll be talking ahead. Okay, the cavity of the follicle rapidly increases in size, and as it increases, it gets filled with the fluid called as Leaker folliculi. क्या कहते हैं बेटा? Leaker folliculi. Yeah, Leaker folliculi is a liquid which is going to be filled in that sac, which is going to be filled in that cavity called as antrum. तो antrum के अंदर के fluid को हम क्या कहते हैं? Leaker folliculi. Okay. Due to the increase in the size of the cavity, the wall of the follicle becomes relatively what? Spread out हो रही है देखो, formed by the granulosa cells. ये कैसे हो जाता है? It's going to be relatively becoming thinner and thinner. See ना, it's going to the periphery. It's becoming thinner and thinner. This one. I'm talking about this black one. It is becoming thinner and thinner, right? Right? The oocyte now lies eccentrically in the follicle. Eccentrically means not at the center, at any other point except center. उसको हम कहते हैं eccentric. सेंटर में नहीं है, कहाँ गया देखो, ये साइड पे आ गया. ये कोई भी साइड पे जा सकता है, इधर दिखाया है मतलब इधर ही, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. इट कैन मूव टू दिस जोन, दिस जोन, दिस जोन, एनीवेयर. नॉट एट द सेंटर, इज eccentrically. ठीक है. द oocyte now lies eccentrically in the follicle, surrounded by some of the granulosa cells called as cumulus. ये important है, called as the cumulus ophoricus. तो ये जो क्यूमुलस ओफोरिकस है ना, ये देखिए यहाँ पर, ये यहाँ पर भी क्यूमुलस ओफोरिकस ही है. द ग्रैन्युलोसा सेल्स विच आर सराउंडिंग बोला है ना बेटा, तो ये ऊपर से सराउंड करे या नीचे से सराउंड करे, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. ठीक है. तो ये पूरा, ये जो पूरा का पूरा, दिस एंटायर सेमीसर्कल और whatever circle, whatever you see, this all these cells of the granulosa are surrounding this oocyte. And these cells would be called as cumulus ophoricus. Understood what is cumulus ophoricus? The cells that attach the cumulus ophoricus to the wall of the follicle are called as discus proligaris or germ hill. So these cells, see, so these cells are getting connected with this cell to get a connection to the entire granulosa cells. So these cells are going to be called as discus proligaris. So discus proligaris are the ones which are going to be the base of cumulus ophoricus. उसका बेस जो है वो discus proligaris है, और ऊपर का जो cells है उसको हम क्या कहेंगे? We'll call it as cumulus ophoricus. But don't you think they are still present inside the membrana granulosa only, with a cavity on their head, and that cavity is filled with what? Antrum fluid, or it's called as your Leaker folliculi. तो कैसे आगे आगे प्रोग्रेस हो रहा है, समझ में आ गया बेटा? कोई डिफिकल्टी है इसमें टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट? एनीवन हैविंग एनी डाउट्स, एनी डिफिकल्टी इन दिस पर्टिकुलर थिंग? थीका एक्सटर्ना, थीका इंटरना, फिलहाल टेंशन मत लो, उसके बारे में मैं बाद में बताती हूँ. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड पे है व्हाट इज थीका एक्सटर्ना एंड व्हाट इज थीका इंटरना. आई विल टेल यू ऑल. No doubts? We move ahead? Sure? Okay. Then we go to the next one, that is this. As the follicle expands, the stromal cells surrounding the membrana granulosa become condensed. Okay? The stromal cells which are surrounding the membrana granulosa, they become condensed to form a covering called as theca interna. अब ये क्या है? Where is this theca interna? What is this theca interna? ये सब क्या है अभी? तो those cells which were surrounding, that is your membrana granulosa cells itself. Okay? ये जो सारे है ना, ये और पुश होते जाएंगे पेरिफेरी पे. बराबर? ये देखिए, ये सारे पुश होते जाएंगे पेरिफेरी पे, और यहाँ पर जो है ना, यहाँ पर और नए स्ट्रोमल सेल्स तो उसके बाजू में है ही. We saw that there are so many stromal cells surrounding it. So all these stromal cells which are now formed will come and they will also surround this particular region. And this region will then get a covering called as theca interna. Can you see this theca interna? Now this theca interna is very important because it is this theca interna that is going to secrete the female hormone estrogen. So estrogen is secreted by whom? By the theca interna. What are theca interna? The stromal cells surrounding the membrana granulosa. What are stromal cells? The surrounding cells that actually are the oogonia, but they do not have the fate to become egg. Got it? So in this way, there will be theca interna covering over the membrana granulosa. The cells of the theca interna, all the thecal cells afterwards secrete the hormone estrogen. Estrogen is very important for female. Okay. Outside the theca interna, some fibrous tissue becomes condensed and they form another covering called as theca externa. So theca interna को भी protection की जरूरत है because they are secretory in function. They are going to secrete estrogen. So even they require what? Protection. So to protect them, some fibrous tissues we have seen. Fibroblast करके मैंने आपको बताया था present होते हैं last class में. तो वो जो fibroblast है ना, वो fibrous tissue को बनाते हैं and these fibrous tissue will come and overlap the entire theca interna and this covering of fibrous tissue is going to be called as theca externa. So theca externa are fibrous tissue. Theca interna are stromal cells. Membrana granulosa, once upon a time stromal cells, then follicular cells and now granulosa cells. नाम change हुआ सिर्फ. बराबर? ऐसे 3 coverings है बेटा. 3 layers है. Right? Got it? So in this way, from the outermost to the innermost, we have got theca externa, theca interna, membrana granulosa, antrum, and eccentrically we have got the primary oocyte being formed. Okay. Now what happens? See, outside, the ovarian follicle is now fully formed and is now called as Graafian follicle. तो Graafian follicle कैसे बना, ये आज की कहानी थी. Fine. Now, the granulosa cells lying in the close vicinity of the ovum, that is the secondary oocyte. अब ये word आ गया देखो बेटा, primary oocyte got converted to secondary oocyte, मतलब meiosis 1 complete हुआ कहीं ना कहीं. तो ये meiosis 1 कहाँ complete होता है? तो ये meiosis 1 जो है, ये proper newly fully formed ये जो स्ट्रक्चर है ना, इसको हम कहते हैं ग्राफियन फॉलिकल. तो ये आपको दिखाई दे रहा है बेटा. कैन यू सी दिस? वन स्मॉल राउंड ओवर हियर एंड वन लार्ज राउंड ओवर हियर. 2 सर्कल्स दिखाई दिया आपको. तो ये जो लार्ज है ना बच्चा, ये जो लार्ज है ना, ये है अपना सेकेंडरी oocyte. ये जो छोटू है, दिस इज द पोलर बॉडी. सो व्हाट दे आर सेइंग, द वंस व्हिच आर लाइंग नियर द सेकेंडरी oocyte and the zona pellucida, see ये pink वाला जो layer है, this is the zona pellucida. Fine. They form corona radiata. तो ये जो है, ये corona radiata यहाँ पर बनेगा. So यहाँ पर अगर आप देख सकते हो, labels पे थोड़ा सा ध्यान देना बेटा. See this? Cells that will become corona radiata after ovulation. After ovulation means after the release of the egg. These are the cells which will become corona radiata. This is the granulosa cells. This is the theca interna. This is the theca externa. This is the basal lamina. Now you know why lamina, basal membrane या basal lamina की क्या जरूरत है, अभी समझा ना? वो जो cells है, that will secrete a glue onto which the interna can come and stick. Okay, and theca externa will be covering it. Then this is the antrum. ये जो cavity है, that is the antrum, which is filled with follicular fluid, that is nothing but liquor folliculi. Did you all understand this? Now when ovulation will take place, जब ovulation होता है, तो ये जो पूरा का पूरा है ना बेटा, ये फट जाएगा. अब ये कैसे फटता है वो देखते हैं. Yeah, but before that, any doubts in this particular slide? Any confusion in this slide? Anything that you have not understood? You want me to repeat or something like that way?
Teacher,
Huh?
so is the corona radiata from formed from the cells surrounding the layer?
Yes, bacha. That is why it is called as radiata. जो radiate होता है. Radiate hota hai means which is going to go from the center to the periphery. So it's radiating, it's going away. So that is the name. Therefore, it's going to be corona means crown. No need to explain these things now. You all are well versed with the word corona. इधर भी कोरोना वर्ड आता है, डरना मत बेटा. ये हर एक फीमेल के लाइफ में कोरोना रेडिएटा आता ही है. तो ये कोरोना डरावना नहीं है, बट ये कोरोना का मीनिंग है क्राउन. सो इट इज एक्चुअली गोइंग टू वेयर अ क्राउन on its head and it is going to radiate outwards. Therefore, the name is corona radiator. Did you all get it, bacha? Koi difficulty? Koi doubt?
What is the labeling at the base of the diagram?
Here.
Yeah.
It is nothing. That is your cumulus euphoria. Same, euphorus. That is what I told you, na? The membrana granulosa cells which are completely surrounding the primary oocyte is going to be called as your cumulus. It's the same one, cumulus euphoria. Done? Shall we go ahead?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Yes, now here you can very clearly see the things very beautifully mentioned over here. You can see we talk from the primordial follicle, right? This is the primordial follicle. And from the primordial follicle onwards, we're going to talk about the next events. So primary oocyte, not yet released from the meiosis one. A cell layer is forming around it. A follicle consists of cell layer and an oocyte. You can see this flower-like thing that we saw, right? This is the zona pellucida at the center. These are the follicular cells which have become columnar. Now this is going to be your membrana granulosa. So a transparent and somewhat elastic layer is going to be present over here, which is zona pellucida, starts forming around the primary oocyte here. This is going to be your membrana granulosa cells, that is proliferation at puberty or after puberty. Then a cavity being formed over here. This is going to be called as the antrum. A fluid-filled cavity called as antrum starts forming in the follicle's cell layer. The cavity goes on increasing. You can see it has become really large now, right? And now you can see this is the Graafian follicle, or we call it as the mature follicle. Meiosis 1 is over now. The secondary oocyte and the first polar body are now formed. You can see over here, this is the first polar body and this is the secondary oocyte. Is it understood? How does it look like? Okay. Now, after this has been formed, you can see this entire thing is rupturing. ये फट जाता है, मैंने आपको बताया ना, ये फट जाएगा. और ये फट जाने के बाद you can see these cells. Now these are going to be called as your corona radiata. Can you see this? The corona radiata with the polar body as well as the secondary oocyte is now going to come into the fallopian tube, is now going to enter into the fallopian tube. So ये rupture होके क्या कहाँ चला जाएगा? Where will it move after rupturing? So nowhere, it will just move into the fallopian tube. So see, ovulation will take place, that is mature follicle ruptures and releases the secondary oocyte and the first polar body in a protected covering of corona radiata. Got it? Now you can very well see how it is being thrown out. Fine. A corpus luteum forms from the remnants of the ruptured cells. What is corpus luteum? I'll explain now. The corpus luteum breaks down when the woman doesn't get pregnant, and this will be thrown out of the body. Along with this thing will be thrown out of the body.
Corpus albicans, right?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Before being thrown out, it will become corpus albicans, right?
Very right, Bacha. Very perfect, very well said. Yes, it will be called as corpus albicans. So what is the difference between corpus luteum and albicans? Of course, we want to talk about. So this particular cycle, forget about the corpus luteum. Up till that, any confusions in your mind? Or have you all understood exactly what is happening and what is Graafian follicle? So Graafian follicle is nothing but the matured follicle in which the polar body and the secondary oocyte have been formed after meiosis 1. But let me tell you, this corona radiata, which is protecting those two bodies together. In spite of that, this particular structure will again get arrested at metaphase 2. उसका भी स्टैचू हो रहा है. और ये जो पोलर बॉडी जो दिखाई दे रही है ना बेटा आपको यहाँ पर, इसमें तो कुछ भी नहीं होगा, उसमें सेकेंड मियोसिस होगा ही नहीं. सेकेंड मियोसिस किस में होने वाला है? सेकेंडरी oocyte में होने वाला है. ओके, गॉट इट? या. After 13 days of the menstrual cycle, that is on the 14th day, when the cycle is ideally of the 28 days. So, assuming a healthy female is going to have her menstrual cycle repeated after every 28 days, it is assumed, not necessary always 28 days के बाद ही menstrual cycle experience करा जाएगा. किसी का माइक चल रहा है बेटा, देखो एक बार. ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि every female will have a perfection of 28 days throughout her life. No, it can be plus minus. That's okay. But ideally, so ideally after 28 days का अगर cycle है, तो after 13 days, that is exactly at the midterm. That is on the 14th day the ovulation is going to take place. That is, the Graafian follicle is ruptured and the egg is released. After ovulation, the ruptured Graafian follicle is called as corpus luteum. मतलब ये देखिए, अभी आप देख सकते हो यहाँ पर, ये बाहर आ गया है, ये एग along with the polar body बाहर आ चुका है, secondary oocyte and polar body. अब ये जो है, this is going to be called as your corpus luteum. Fine. So the ruptured Graafian follicle is now going to be called as corpus luteum. Soon after ovulation, the granulosa cells of the Graafian follicle proliferate. अब देखो, अब तो egg चला गया. There is no egg now in that. The egg is discharged into the fallopian tube with the intention to fertilize. ठीक है? But still what will happen? In spite the egg being thrown out now, what will happen? The rest of the cells of the Graafian follicle, that is the granulosa cells of the Graafian follicle, will again proliferate. They will grow. Okay? And these cells look yellow now due to the accumulation of the pigment called as lutein. Lutein is yellow in color. Hence, now the structure is called as corpus luteum. Luteum yellow. Why does it look yellow? Because of the lutein. So lutein formation takes place in that. Before ovulation, the follicle was avascular. Avascular means it did not have the blood supply till the egg was present in it. But as soon as the egg is liberated, now what happens? See, but before ovulation, the follicle was avascular. But soon after ovulation, blood vessels grow and corpus luteum gets filled with blood now. You can see this red color ka scar over here, bacha. ये देखो, blood clot. तो ये corpus luteum actually उसमें से egg चला जाने के बाद degenerate होना चाहिए था, लेकिन वो degenerate नहीं होता है. वो वापस उसको खुद को वो सिला लेता है, एक बैग के जैसा, एक बैलून के जैसा बन जाता है, or it becomes yellow in color, and now it starts to get the supply of the blood, and there would be blood that would be present at the center now. Fine. Central part filled with blood is now going to be called as corpus hemorrhagicum, a very important word. तो जहां ये blood है, उस एरिया को हम कहते हैं कॉर्पस हेमोरैगिकम. हीमोग्लोबिन से याद आ जाएगा आपको, है ना? Lutein cells or the corpus luteum will now start synthesizing a very important hormone, that is progesterone. So estrogen was synthesized by the theca interna, and progesterone, which is one more very important female hormone, that is going to be synthesized by the corpus luteum after the discharge of the ovary. After the discharge of the ovum, I'm sorry. Did you understand? Yes. Progesterone is secreted by corpus luteum. Okay, so it's going to play a very important role and a very crucial role, and for it to synthesize corpus luteum, it वो फटा हुआ नहीं रह सकता है बेटा, उसको अपने आप को वापस सिलाना है, एक कैविटी के जैसे बनाना है, एक बॉडी के जैसे बनाना है, और उसमें अभी प्रोजेस्टेरॉन सिक्रीशन स्टार्ट हो जाएगा. So who secretes progesterone? Corpus luteum. Who secretes estrogen? Theca interna. Okay? Yes, you're very right. You're very right, Vedant. Perfectly right, beta. This corpus luteum का मेन फंक्शन क्या है? प्रोजेस्टेरॉन बनाना। और प्रोजेस्टेरॉन का मेन फंक्शन क्या है बताया बेटा? टू मेंटेन प्रेगनेंसी। Therefore, progesterone is also called as pregnancy hormone. So let us see, if fertilization takes place, what will happen with the progesterone? If fertilization does not take place, what will happen with it? Let us just see that. Fine. So anything not followed on this slide, जो अभी अभी आपके सामने स्लाइड है उसके ऊपर का कुछ कंटेंट नहीं समझा हो तो पूछो बेटा. Anyone? Understood? Good. Fine. So let us see the fate of this corpus luteum. Okay, let us understand that particular content now. See, if the fertilization takes place, okay, agar fertilization successfully hota hai, so what will happen? If fertilization occurs in the fallopian tube, the corpus luteum then becomes stable for next 9 months. मतलब corpus luteum intact रहेगा. Intact रह के ये पूरे 9 महीने तक प्रोजेस्टेरॉन सिक्रीट करता रहेगा. ठीक है. Progesterone hormone maintains pregnancy. It helps in repairing the wall of the uterus to make its surface adhesive to help in implantation. तो ये जो अभी fetus develop होने के लिए ये जो fertilization का product है, it should come and it should stick to the wall of the endometrium. This is called as implantation, which we have seen in the first lecture. So ये इम्प्लांटेशन कराने के लिए, उसको यहाँ पर चिपकाने के लिए जो ग्लू की जरूरत होती है, that is nothing but the progesterone. So the progesterone is going to make the surface of the endometrium adhesive so that it can stick the fertilized product can stick to the endometrial wall with the help of this sticky adhesive. So progesterone helps in that as well. Second thing, and the very important thing is, progesterone is going to not allow the endometrium to contract. ये contraction, expansion, ये जो होता रहता है ना बेटा, इसके वजह से क्या होगा? endometrium अगर contract हुआ, expand हुआ, contract हुआ, expand हुआ, तो implantation भी बराबर से नहीं होगा. and अगर implantation बराबर से हुआ भी है ना, तो भी वो fetus जो है ना, उसको अंदर से continuously झटके लगते रहेंगे. So for 9 months, the uterus is not allowed to undergo contraction. Who takes care of this? This will also be taken care with the help of the progesterone. So progesterone 9 months के लिए हाथ में एक बड़ा वाला स्केल लेकर खड़ा है. हिलने का नहीं. Not to move. Not to move. Not to move. Okay, this is the way the progesterone is actually going to have an effect on the uterine wall. It will not allow the uterine wall to undergo contractions. So uterine contractions are going to be completely taken care of by the progesterone unless and until the baby is delivered. जब मैं आपको आगे थर्ड पार्ट पढ़ाऊंगी ना बेटा एम्ब्रियो, तो बहुत ही मजा आएगा ये समझने के लिए कि प्रोजेस्टेरॉन को चुप कौन कराता है. तू अब बंद हो जा, तू अब कम हो जा, तेरा काम हो गया है, ये कौन कराता है, ये जब मैं तुम्हें एक्सप्लेन करूंगी ना एम्ब्रियोलॉजी के पार्ट में, तो मजा आएगा. आज नहीं बताऊंगी मैं. ठीक है. There is someone who is going to stop the secretion of this progesterone and tell the progesterone enough of it. You were here for 9 months, enough of it now. ये कौन बताता है, ये मजे वाली कहानी है, बाद में देखेंगे. चलिए. So अभी के लिए आपको समझा what is the function of the progesterone. Fine. That is if the fertilization takes place. If fertilization does not take place, then the corpus luteum starts degenerating after about 9 days of its formation. So 14 plus 9 is ideally 23 days. So around 23 day of the menstrual cycle, ये जो corpus luteum है ना, ये बेचारा सिकुड़ने लगता है, रोने लगता है, छोटू छोटू होने लगता है. Okay? और degenerate हो जाता है. What happens after that? See, the degeneration is completed in 14 days. मतलब 23rd day से start होगा और next 7 days चलेगा. समझ में आ गई बात? समझ में आ गई? तो 14th day के ovulation के बाद 14 days आगे तक ये corpus luteum पूरा shrink हो जाएगा. So the degeneration is completed in the next 14 days from the time of ovulation to form something called as corpus albicans, which gradually disappears. Corpus albicans appears white in color. It looks like a wrinkled scar. छोटू सा ऐसा पपड़ी के जैसा स्कार समझते हो ना, कभी ना कभी तो हर्ट किया होगा खुद को, उसके ऊपर वो स्कार आ जाता है. Something like that. It looks like a wrinkled scar. The corpus albicans, albino का मतलब है white. So initially it was corpus luteum, which was yellow. Now it started becoming white. So it is called as corpus albicans. Now this corpus albicans will be discharged via the menstrual flow. Along with the menstrual flow, even this corpus albicans will be thrown out. The unfertilized egg would be thrown out. The endometrial wall, which is going to become thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker, is going to be scraped off. तो ये जो सारी कहानी है ना, ये menstrual cycle में हम study करने वाले हैं. It is a part of the menstrual cycle. Fine. Here, any doubts in this? Come on. Anybody having any problem in understanding what is the fate of the corpus luteum? If fertilization occurs, what will happen? If fertilization does not occur, what will happen? Any doubts? No? We'll go ahead. The fate of the follicles. So the fate of the follicles is something again very simple actually. ऐसा इसमें कुछ difficult part है नहीं, easily समझ में आ जाएगा आपको. The total number of follicles in the 2 ovaries of a normal young woman is about 4 lakhs. That is what I told you. However, most of them undergo regression and disappear due to death and are disposed of by phagocytosis during the reproductive year of the females. This is termed as follicular atresia. So many of them, they are going to be eaten away. Many of them will become membrana granulosa. Many of them will become the stromal cells. Alag-alag fates हमने देखे हैं. This is the reason, that is, this is responsible for limited number of gamete production in females. Generally, only one ovum is liberated in each menstrual cycle by alternate ovaries. Generally, it's not a thumb rule. But generally ऐसे देखा गया है कि ये month में अगर left ovary से liberate हुआ है secondary oocyte, तो next month में दूसरे वाले ovary से liberate होगा, is generally seen. Only about 450 ova are produced by the human female over the entire span of her reproductive life. We have calculated that day that around 416 are made, but maximum would be 450. Please don't play with the slide, beta. Someone is doing the annotations. I trust you, I believe you, so I have not stopped the annotations. Please don't distract. Only about 450 ova are produced by the human female over the entire lifespan of a reproductive life, which will last for about 40 to 50 years of age. मतलब around 40 to 50 years तक उसका reproductive age है. उसके बाद she will undergo menopause. Menopause will stop the release of the eggs and she can then not become a mother. Although most of the follicular cells and the oocytes undergo degeneration during the follicular atresia, some thecal cells, you saw theca interna, right, formed from the stroma and located around the follicle persists and they can become active. These cells are called as interstitial cells. These cells secrete small amount of androgen. Androgens are going to be actually the male hormones. So it is said that every female has got 2% of the male hormones and every male has got 2% of the female hormones. अगर ये 2% से ज़्यादा हो जाता है ना, तो overall behavioral pattern में आपको change दिखाई देगा. There are some girls which are boyish. They don't like to show reveal their identity that they are girls. उनको अच्छा नहीं लगता है to behave like girls, to dress up like girls. Nahi, they are tomboyish type. And like, I don't know if you have seen such people. Even we like to wear t-shirts and jeans and everything. That is a most comfortable attire, I would say. बहुत बिल्कुल सही है कि most comfortable वही है. But still, कोई जो ऐसे females होती है ना, जो typically males के जैसे ही dress up करेगी. Along with the hairstyle, the watch, they like to wear male watches, they like to use male perfumes. So maybe because of some 2% से ज़्यादा वाला androgen secrete होता है उनमें. Okay, so this is the fate of the follicles. This is the fate of the follicles. Any doubts in this particular slide? Come on, quickly tell me. Any problem? Any difficulty? Understood?
Yes, understood.
Good, good, good. Menstrual cycle is something which I'll be teaching tomorrow. So I end up with this particular session over here with the fate of follicles. The main thing that we had to study over here was how the graphene follicle is going to be made. And I hope you all have understood up till here how the journey has been completed. Any confusion? Any
No,
doubts? Sure ना बेटा, सब ना, सबको समझा है ना, ये बहुत क्रूशियल था इसीलिए. ओके, ये वीक के लिए आपको थोड़ा सा मेरा ओवरलोड रहने वाला है लेक्चर्स का. मैंने आपको लास्ट क्लास में बताया, ओनली दिस वीक आई विल बी एंगेजिंग यू फॉर 3 क्लासेस. I had occupied you all on Monday. I again called you all today, and tomorrow also you will be occupied from 11 to 1. Okay,
It's Friday
so
ki tomorrow?
only for this week. From next week onwards, this won't be the case. Okay, from next week onwards, some things that I want to tell you all right. Two tracks means I'll be teaching you all 2 different chapters. One is going on right now. This will be continued in the next class also. That would be on Thursday. So Thursday to Thursday, we would go ahead with 1 track. That is reproduction का chapter in humans जो चल रहा है, वही continued करेंगे. And one more day in the week. I have not fixed the day till now, but one more day in the week, we'll go ahead with a new chapter. So we'll be having 2 chapters being taught simultaneously.
Means और वो
Fine.
chapter 11th करेगा ना?
ऐसे कुछ नहीं. देखो अभी ये सेल साइकिल स्टार्ट कर रही हूँ बेटा मैं, तो सेल साइकिल 11th का चैप्टर ही है, बट इट इज इन कनेक्शन विद दिस चैप्टर. तो ये चैप्टर के साथ साथ अगर मैं आपको सेल साइकिल पढ़ाऊंगी ना, तो वो आपको पूरा का पूरा कहानी बहुत क्लियर हो जाएगा. तो उस तरीके से रहेगा. 12th एंड 11th जनरली मैं मर्ज करके लेती हूँ, बट स्टिल सो विल बी हैविंग 2 ट्रैक्स. So what I want you all to do is, ये जो आप जिस नोटबुक में लिख रहे हो पॉइंट्स या whatever जो कर रहे हो, ये नोटबुक अलग रखिएगा बेटा. फॉर सेल साइकिल वाला चैप्टर इट्स गोइंग टू बिलोंग टू 11th स्टैंडर्ड. सो आई वांट यू ऑल टू गेट another notebook for 11th standard के chapters. Don't mix them together. Otherwise आपको है ना स्टडी करने में बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी. कहाँ से क्या, कौन से किधर से पढ़ना है, कुछ नहीं समझेगा. So please have 2 books, one for 12th standard, one for 11th standard. Cell cycle chapter is 11th standard chapter, which I'll be teaching you in the next week, of course, not this week.
लेकिन
तो
reproduction in organisms तो बना दिया ना इसके.
हाँ, reproduction organisms तो अपना खत्म हो चुका है. That is 12th standard. That is 12th standard.
Okay.
Human reproduction is also 12th standard. ओके, सो ये दोनों जो है, और एक चैप्टर इसके बाद जो 12th का है रिप्रोडक्टिव हेल्थ, इसी से कनेक्टेड है, वो भी 12th रहेगा. सो वो एक 12th के बुक में आप कंटिन्यू करोगे, और 11th के चैप्टर्स में आपको बताऊंगी कि दीज आर द 11th स्टैंडर्ड चैप्टर्स. सो वो हम 11th के बुक में कंटिन्यू करेंगे. सो ऑफ कोर्स दैट विल बी इन द नेक्स्ट वीक. This week you will be having a class tomorrow from 11 to 11 to 1. Friday we won't have a class now. For this week definitely we don't have a class. Tomorrow's class for this week would be the last class of my lectures for this week. Okay bacha, chaliye, so see you all tomorrow at 11, and I'll be going ahead with the menstrual cycle wala part, and जितना हो सके I think हमें complete करने को हो जाएगा ये वाला part at least कल वाले lectures में. ठीक है, bye till then, take care, see you all, be safe, be healthy, be at home. Okay, chaliye, thank you so much, thank you so much. Bye bye
Thank
bye
you,
bye
Bye,
bye
miss.
bye bye. I'm ending the meeting for all. Okay,
Thank you.
yeah, I'll leave it.